Coming into chapter 9, hydration. With hydration, a couple of things what we need to think about here when we're training. We want to be having a minimum of 3 litres a day when we are training. However, that is going to be a lot lower when we are not training, simply because we're not sweating. Don't get me wrong, on hot days, on days when you've walked a lot, you will need to stay hydrated. You need to rehydrate because our bodies are made out of water, believe it or not. So if we're not drinking, our bodies are not going to be optimal and we're not going to feel good. So let's say, for instance, if I picked you up, chucked you into a blender, you would turn into a liquid. You would not turn into like minced meat, believe it or not, because we've got our brain, blood, skin, everything else has got some sort of hydration factor about it. I don't know the statistics straight off the bat, but water is a major key. Hydrogen, oxygen, that is what we need to function, for us to feel good, for us to have clear skin. So then that takes me on to the next point. When it comes towards all fizzy drinks, sport drinks, fruit juices and alcohol, you want to be reducing that, especially if you're wanting to reduce your body fat. It doesn't make sense to have something which is a liquid form of a calorie, which doesn't really help correlate with your goals. Don't get me wrong, every so often, the odd sport drink, the odd fizzy drink, the odd bit of alcohol, like I'm talking literally like a bottle of alcohol or just a pint here and there, not every single day, not every single week, just those little hints are fine if you are in control of the rest of your nutrition, if you are in control of your carbs, proteins, fats, snacks, vitamins and minerals, even your sleep. These are massive things what need to be locked in first, so then when it comes towards the other things outside, they don't hinder that. Because like I said in previous videos, which you will notice, is that companies profit off our health. So they will be always producing the next best generation of liquid, which is going to give you so much energy. But what you are failing to realize is that you will have way more energy from just keeping it basic, keeping it simple to the things what we've always followed throughout our lives. And it's only recently, like over the past 20, 30 years, compared to the past 2,000 years plus, where we started to enhance and made man-made products for people to consume and buy to give them that false effect of feeling awesome, when really you just have to keep it natural, because that's how the body will process things 10 times better. So you see, the problem with alcohol is that it is actually the 4th macronutrient, which is rarely ever spoken about, and that's why we're going to delve into it today. Alcohol, I think off the rip, is literally 6 to 7 calories per gram of alcohol. So it's quite a high amount. So let's say, for instance, you could have like a small bottle of Bud and that'll have like 112 calories in it, but because it's so light, you end up having 5 bottles of that and then you've had 500 calories. Whereas like for some people, you may find that like your daily intake of calories is around about 2,000 or 2,500 or 1,500, just as a rough example, and 500 calories could just be from bottles of Bud. So you've got to be very wary and understand that alcohol can actually slow down your metabolism, because the body focuses on burning those calories off first, then the calories what you've been eating healthy after. So if you're in the habit of just having a glass of wine and you're like, I wonder why I'm not losing any weight even though I'm in a deficit, it's because you are actually not. You are drinking your calories. Just because it's just a glass does not mean that it doesn't contain any calories. Some people like to disagree and think, hey, you don't need to count calories, but it's good to be aware of what's going into the system. We want to be aware of what we're eating, because then it helps us to think and be like, right, do I actually need this right now? Am I just treating myself because I've had a bad day? Or am I just giving into an impulse? You've got to question yourself and think, right, is this in correlation with my goals? Do I want to get fitter? What can I have instead? Can I drink water? Can I have a bit of sugar-free Vimto inside of the water to make it interesting if I find water boring? Because you can do stuff like that. We've got to think outside of the box to get different results, to achieve progress, to move forwards, okay? So then it takes us into other things such as like green tea and like coffee, because they've been shown to actually boost the metabolism. Obviously, again, we have to also be aware of how much caffeine we have, because green tea has it and so does coffee. So like, let's say for instance, a rule of thumb, like 1 green tea a day and then probably 1 coffee a day is pretty much enough, especially supporting a good nutritious diet, because you're going to get all of your energy from the other sources. So again, for myself, like I love coffee and I try to limit how much I have. I usually have it just for like a little boost. So at the moment, like just before I've recorded this video, I've just literally had half a coffee. Nothing crazy, nothing like extravagant, just literally quick instant coffee, boom, in, energy, out. There we go. So say for instance, if you've just worked 9 to 5 and then you're going to train at 5:30 and then you have a mad pre-workout at 5:45, you smash a session and then you're wondering why you can't fall asleep, it's because there's only so much milligrams of caffeine the body can actually take in one sitting, and especially we need it to like do its course and then go away. So to be honest, I used to take a lot of pre-workouts myself back when I was a lot younger and new to training, whereas like now I'm not really bothered because it spikes me up and then I crash down. Even if it says non-stimulant, like you are gonna crash somewhere when you have a high because there needs to be a low. So I'd rather just keep it in the middle, and however I feel, I'll just train by how I feel, and it helps me to have a solid session regardless, so I don't miss anything and I don't rely on a product. Do not get me wrong, if I have messed up and my nutrition is not where it needs to be for that day, and I just literally just need something just to get me going, that is like my absolute last resort. If there's like literally no coffee available or no espresso shots or anything like that, that is like an example of when I'd like to use it. I don't want to be in the habit of using it all the time, because then I can become reliant on it and then I can be like, oh my god, I've not gone by pre-workout so I can't have a good session. That is not the mindset you need for you to be effective inside of the gym. You've got to remember that you going inside of the gym, you training, you doing your bits and bobs is for you to feel good about yourself, not to feel guilty that you don't have a supplement, because a supplement is supplementing an actual organic food. Let's call it that way. It's pretty much like in the hierarchy of all of nutrition, at the base of thing, you've got your calories, your macronutrients, your micronutrients, your meal timing and frequency, and then supplements come last, because if you get all the other 4 right, do you really need supplements? Depending on what you're missing from your diet, they're just there to just help you out and just boost things up. So say for instance like fish oils, blah 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 blah, vitamins, multivitamins, blah 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 blah. But what I'm trying to get at here is with caffeine, we need to make sure that we are limiting its dose, we're being wary about it, and that we are listening to our bodies and we're plowing through what we can, and also timing it right so that we're not hindering our sleep, because sleep is a massive factor. And also then what you'll find is that if you're lacking sleep, you're not going to be as hydrated because the body's not going to be recovering as great as it should be. So to round up chapter 9, hydration, make sure that on training days that you're drinking at least 3 litres of water, on non-training days at least 2 litres of water. You're having things such as like green tea, normal tea with like a little dash of milk in it. You're having like not many coffees a day. I'd probably say 1 or 2 max, to be honest. And then obviously with any other sports drinks and stuff like that, just make sure that your nutrition is right first, so that you don't need to rely on getting something like that, because it will save you some money. And then also as well, on top of that too, it's making sure that with alcohol that you are severely limiting that, especially if you're trying to reduce body fat. It shouldn't even be in your equation if you are trying to lose weight. If you are wanting to achieve a stronger, better physique, having alcohol in the system isn't always going to support you as much as you think it is. It's a good like dopamine release, but in terms of like correlating with your goals, it's not really going to help you, because you're going to make your body do more work than what it needs to do. So just keep it simple, keep it organic, and just keep it real with yourself.